right, we have a smoke detector that uses photoelectric. This is Kidde, whatever, and model P12040. So photoelectric, it is electric, AC power, and battery backup. And it has an issue where you put the battery in. Oh, it's loud. And it starts going off. Battery is good. This is a brand new battery. So it probably needs cleaning. Photoelectric means that it is using probably some kind of LED light source, and it's sensing the light source. And if smoke gets in between, smoke, particulates, whatever gets in between there, meaning that there's smoke, something on fire, then this detects that and it goes off. Unfortunately, with that design, when dirt, dust, or maybe a little bug gets in the little container there where this sensor is, it can set the alarm off because the alarm just thinks that it is not seeing all the lights, something is blocking it, maybe smoke, whatever, so it's going off. And this one is not that old, 4 or 5 years old, so it is still good. So instead of buying a new one, we are going to take this apart today and clean it, clean out that sensor and see if that's what's causing the problem. So, all right, let's have at it. I've got little pieces of foam here that are blocking the openings for the tabs that we need to use to pop the bottom off. And I'm assuming this one is, yeah, it's under the sticker. Wow, and there's a piece of foam there. And they use, I know why they put these in there actually, because when you mount these to like an electrical box, for example, electrical boxes, air can be flowing in there, you know, through the conduit and so on, and maybe up in the attic, from the attic, wherever. And that air can then, if you leave parts of the smoke detector uncovered, and you see even in this opening here, there's some kind of foam or something. If you were to leave all of these open, air blows through here, and that air could be dirty or it could be clean, but either way, it is not the air that you are trying to detect the smoke particulates from, and it's not allowing the air in this area to get into the smoke detector so that it can detect smoke. So all smoke detectors should have some kind of cover for any openings on the back of the smoke detector. That's why they all have something like this to block them off. Otherwise, they will not work correctly. So when you take these things out, put them back in. And if you lose them or whatever, you know, put some tape over this, okay? It's very important. All right. Now we can access these tabs. So for these tabs, it turns out that you've got to release it by pulling back on this little fork here, and then once you have that back, you can open up one of the tabs and then move to the other ones. I was doing that incorrectly and pulling back on this. You don't want to do that. You want to pull here, that one, and then this one here. Oh, it's already kind of off of it there. Okay, now and I broke one of the tabs. Ah! How did that happen? It was released. All right, that's not great, but I think we can still live with it. Okay, we got to get inside here because this is the photoelectric chamber. So it looks like we pry this one back, this one, and then this one here. We pry them back a little bit, and the top should come off of this. And see how it's got like a little bit of a screen or something on the top. But look what we have here. See this? Little spider webs. What do you know? Here's the LED that I was talking about. And wow, Looks like the light kind of bounces all over the place. And then this is the sensor here that picks it up. Wow, that is really interesting, the way they have this all worked out there. I don't even know if I need to use any compressed air, because it means I got to get the compressor out and blow it around. I think I'm just going to kind of blow in there myself. Natural compressed air. I'm going to try to find something to wipe this. You don't want to damage it. I don't want to like touch it with this, because if you were to scratch the sensor or even the light, it's going to affect how it works from that point on. So just, I mean, you could just use straight rubbing alcohol, but I've got this alcohol water mix. Q-tip might not be the absolute best thing to use because it could leave some little fuzzies behind, but I think we're okay. Okay, ready to put this sucker back together. You know, and you could be thinking, well, why not just seal this off better? You know, put some really tight screening in there to keep the bugs out. Well, yeah, if you do that, you know, you keep tiny little bugs out, you're also keeping out the particulates, right? The smoke, basically. And if you keep that out, well, it's not a very good smoke detector, right? So they have thought it through, and so far this is the best they can do. But, you know, they also make smoke detectors that use like an ionization technique, which is much more magical than this light photoelectric. They have a chamber that looks very similar to this, but it's metal, and they actually use a very, very small uranium source, I think U-235, if I remember correctly. And somehow that creates like this cloud is radioactive, tiny radioactive... Ooh, tiny radioactive cloud in there, and somehow they use that to sense whether or not they're getting any kind of particulates in there. And by the way, smoke particulates too can be invisible. They can, a lot of these smoke detectors are detecting, especially the ionization ones, are detecting particulates that are invisible. And this, I think, works just as well, but it does require detection of things that the light that can interfere with light. All right, so I am also going to clean this up and use a little bit of my natural compressed air, which did almost nothing. Clean this up so that it doesn't, you know, get in here. Okay, much better. This is a piezoelectric speaker, by the way. This is what makes all that super high-pitched chirping noise. I think it has to be the like lowest cost in terms of actual cost and efficiency for like sound level of anything ever made. And how do I know that? Well, because if they found a cheaper, more louder, more efficient, electrically efficient manner, it would already be in use. Okay, which way did this go? Actually, this LED gets lined up with that. So we know it's that way. Okay, clip in, and it will not clip in, but you can see it's just a little bit off, which is not great, but it's not awful either. Okay, again, make sure we stuff these guys back in there. Okay, now, let's see if all this effort paid off. All right, we are in business. So to truly test this beyond this little test weekly button, you can buy cans of like smoke. Again, it's like specific particulate matter that they use to test these devices, and you can use it to make sure that it actually still works. If you've got a friend that smokes, you could probably also use that. But anyway, here we go. We are back in business. And if this saved you a few bucks, well, send it to me, all right? Give me a big thank you.